Yes, I do sound different. No, it's not because I accidentally left my mic across the country. Shut up. Legacy. Many would like to leave their legacy after the time has passed. Many more carry that legacy within them as they grow to do great things. And these characters carry their legacies on their shoulders as they protect the very world. The son of Goku, the rageful warrior, Son Gohan, the son of Seven, the guardian of light, Ultraman Zero. With the slow rise of Ultraman's popularity in the West came a new matchup for everyone's favorite punch-kick merchant series. And honestly, it's one of my new favorites. That's right, Ultraman Zero got dragged into being Gohan's latest and not so arguably greatest matchup. And like Zero vs Dragon, nobody really discusses how the matchup would play out. Hell, I've barely seen any power scaling for Ultraman in general, which is crazy considering how easy it is to get into the series. No, but seriously, you can literally hop on any Ultraman show like right now on YouTube and Tubi. I'm talking OG, Max, Mebius, G, the best one. Hell, even like the newest and current running series is just all out there for free right now. Like y'all are slacking for real. Anyways, that's why I am here. Hi, I'm Ultima, and I'm here to study the prowess of these men with the world on their shoulders to see who truly comes out on top. And this time it's not because I'm a petty bitch. Yippee!
Long ago, deep in the vastness of space, once lived a mighty warrior race known as the Saiyans. Their bloodlust was unfathomable, and their power was absolute. And under forceful lead of the strongest in the universe, they would have soon conquered the cosmos. But the Space Emperor soon learned about the legend of a Saiyan powerful enough to match and even surpass him. In fear of this great threat, Frieza devised a plan. And much like the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs, Frieza became the meteor that wiped out a planet. In the age 749, deep within the mountains, there lived a young martial artist who escaped his planet's destruction and has gained dreams of becoming stronger so that he could fight the strongest opponents out there. After an unexpected meeting with a stupidly rich, blue-haired girl, together they searched for the Dragon Balls, and the rest became
history.
The boy would train, fight, and save the world many times over. And eventually, he kept his promise and got married. But this isn't about him.
As that young boy became a respectable man and a proud father of his own son, this boy would hold extraordinary power deep within him, a power no one could ignore. And in time, the boy became a legend in his own right. He is known by many names: Golden Warrior,
Great Saiyan Man, son of a filthy monkey.
but most were known by the name given to him by his father, the son of the legendary Son Goku, Son Gohan.
Let's get going. Whoa, it's clear to me. My spirit grows and I will face it. Steamboat, with burning energy. The day of fate has finally come. It's clear to me. My spirit grows and I will face it. Steamboat, with burning energy. The day of fate has finally come.
Gohan scaling, well, it's about as straightforward as Dragon Ball is as a franchise. Very A is stronger than B, who's stronger than C, who came before B, And, before I go in, I would like to clarify that I'll be using a soft composite of both the manga and anime versions of Gohan. I won't be including any filler-only arcs or scenes or whatever the fuck Versus Battle Wiki does with Toei's Dragon Ball. I don't even... What? So, no PyCon shenanigans, no fake Namek BS, just the canon arcs adapted into the show. Okay? Both technically went through the same events of the story, it's just that how Sid events carried out just very drastically with each arc. Alright? Now you may think I'll start with Gohan in the Cell Saga, because that's him as, is most famous as the main protagonist of that arc, right? Well, no, actually, as I want to go back to the Frieza Saga really quick, as there's a really interesting events that happened there that I want to talk about. As we all know, Frieza is famous for casually destroying Planet Vegeta in his weakest form with a finger. But did you know Planet Vegeta has 10 times the gravity of Earth? This makes the planet far more dense and harder to destroy compared to Earth. With calculations of the feat with the gravity in mind, going all the way up to the small star levels of power. And keep in mind, this is a heavily suppressed Frieza that intentionally keeps himself in weaker forms to have better control over his power. Something that the Gohan of that arc could definitely at least scale to, considering his performance against his other forms. Meaning even as a 5-year-old child, Gohan already had a large planetary to small star level attack potency. And y'all wonder why I just don't like this matchup. Like, what are we doing here? And as a reminder, Frieza's final form is anywhere from 113 to possibly 226 times stronger than his weakest form. Easily pushing him further into the large star territories of power. This can be further supported and pushed with the destruction of planet Namek. Now, in the manga, this explosion isn't anything too crazy beyond what was shown before. But in the anime, this explosion is further expanded upon, with the explosion becoming so large it can be seen outside of the galaxy. With calculations of this feat being the solar system to possibly multi-solar system ranges of power. And considering Frieza not only caused said explosion, he'll even tank it while being already at the brink of death. So he and Gohan should definitely scale to it.
But Ultima, wouldn't this solar system level scaling for Frieza be super inconsistent with the arcs that come after, especially since Cell directly states that he can destroy the solar system in his fight?
Okay, I hear you. And yes, that would be pretty inconsistent for Dragon Ball, especially when considering the power cliffing was arguably at its most steep during the Cell Saga. But this is only if we use our definition of a solar system. See, in the Dragon Ball Daijinsu, or Great Completion Collection, that provides more information on the world of Dragon Ball, we see statements which can further explain Dragon Ball's cosmology, that directly states that the solar system is more than just a singular star with some planets around it, but instead an entire galactic nebula which houses many upon many stars within it. This is the same solar system that Cell was threatening to destroy in the form he achieved that was said to be equal power to that of Gohan Super Saiyan 2. Not only did Gohan beat Cell, he beat a fully rejuvenated Cell at max power while Gohan was still heavily fatigued with a broken arm holding him back. This blatantly puts Teen Gohan far into the multi-solar system level ranges of power. Now, before I go into the Buu arc, there's some statements that I really want to address. Recently, there's been some quote-unquote upscales for both Frieza and Cell that I just don't jive with at all. And I feel like if I don't address it here, there's going to be someone who will genuinely try to convince people otherwise. So let's just get this out the way. These upscales come from the Dragon Ball anime, specifically the narrator and his statements for both Frieza and Cell. Let's go over Frieza first, since his statements are particularly stupid and least valid out of either character. You see, with the debut of Frieza's second form, yes, the second form, the narrator states Frieza could destroy the entire universe with that power. And considering how much stronger Frieza's other forms are, he has to be universal, right?
Wrong!
First of all, I think it'd be pretty good reminder that the author can use hyperbole, and already has used hyperbole many times before this. If we take every statement like this at face value, then why the hell would we care about universal Frieza if we have boundless infinite power Nappa over here? Not to mention that this statement is just that, a statement. A basic statement with no feats and no supporting statements to said statement. nothing in the manga, nothing in the guides, nothing in the anime itself. Can we please drop this already? Thank you. Now, with Cell, there's a lot more validity to it, but there's still some holes that I want to address that stop me from fully believing in this line of scaling. Now, people have two ways to get Cell to Universal. There's Cell having quote-unquote infinite ki, and that means having infinite power or AP, and thus making him universal. And there's also a healthy few anime statements from other characters saying Cell could possibly destroy the universe. Let's start with the infinite ki thing, because I'm not saying Cell doesn't have infinite ki. He does, but that's due to the infinite energy reactor inside of Androids 17 and 18, which, you know, are vital components in the completion of Perfect Cell, meaning he also has the infinite energy reactor. And the series made it very clear that this just meant the androids had infinite stamina to work with, not infinite destructive power to throw around. And I haven't seen anybody scale the Z androids to universal because of this understanding of their power. So why the sudden leeway with Cell? Yeah, he's stronger, but not to like such an insane degree to say you can go from like large star to universal in the span of like, what, 2 absorptions? Alright, now to go over the anime statements. While these statements from Elder Mori do seem pretty blatant for Universal Cell, my problem is that there's literally no time frame or explanation on how Cell could destroy the universe. Sir, given how the threat is treated, you could argue it's in a very short time frame, probably within our lifetime or maybe shorter, but it still leaves a lot of stuff in the air that makes the statements messy. And it's not like Mori has proven himself to be a credible source of this type of statements anyway, so let's just not take this at face value.
Alright people, we must take Cell as a universal threat.
Oh, so the guy who got jawed by the Doria is gonna scale for us? There's also the statement that Cell would destroy everything and leave nothing but darkness or something. And that somehow immediately means he's threatening the entire universe of everything. But that could also just very mean he'll destroy everything in the solar system. That could be a thought.
Cell is an extremely confident being, but he never shown himself to be a liar.
Hell, you can say he never lied because he is so confident in his power and success. He is literally more likely to explain his entire backstory to his ops because he is that sure that he'll become the perfect being than him actually saying a lie. So why would he confidently say he'll destroy the solar system and then immediately say he'll destroy the entire universe like 5 seconds later? Like, yeah, sure, of course you can say, oh, Cell was just more powerful than he originally thought, and if he destroys the universe, that would destroy the solar system too, duh. Like, yeah, I get that, but that still feels like a very sloppy way to write things down. And about the everything turns to darkness thing, like, yeah, you blow out the only star for multiple light years to come, and all the planets near that star, that would turn everything into darkness in space with no traces left. Yeah, good. You can't hear it. You can't hear it through the mic, but I'm clapping for you, Cell. That's a good job, Cell. That's a good observation. And that's especially true if we just use the Dragon Ball definition of a solar system and to have you blow up an entire chunk of the entire galaxy. Just one go. Like, that will definitely bring everything into darkness. Not like universal darkness, but yeah, that's a lot of darkness and nothingness of space over there. In short, as many statements guiding Cell towards universal, there is just as many, if not more, evidence for Cell to just be solar system, which is more in line with the original visits of Cell's power in the manga. I can give Frieza his solar system buff because that's just a manga feat being further expanded upon in the anime. It was technically already done in the source material. The adaptations just went further with it. Cell, in comparison, however, is just kind of a bunch of random words and seemingly misinterpretation of said words that never came out of Toriyama's mouth, as there's nothing before or after this arc that will actually support this line of scaling.
Now that we got the bugs out the way, let's get back on track to the Buu Saga.
See, this arc is very interesting because this arc, oh my god, this arc has actually arguable universal scaling. Oh my god! You can't hear it. I don't think my mic or phone can hear it. But I'm clapping. I'm clapping right now. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you. Oh my god. Let's get back out there. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves though. We still need to analyze these methods of scaling to ensure that these are actually legitimate. First, we have, oh my god, actual statements from both the manga and anime from actually credible characters that imply Buu is a universal threat. With supporting statements from sources outside of both adaptations. Good job, guys. We made that step one. Let's go. I'm so proud of y'all. Yeah. Not only. You sound like such a fucking dickhead. Okay, anyways. Not only that, but we have actual time frame for when the universe could be destroyed. With Goku saying that if they fail to defeat Buu here, the universe will go poof, insinuating almost instant annihilation for the universe. This is further supported by the Daijinsu, stating that the Supreme Kais only appear when the universe is in danger, further supporting the idea that the Buus are universal threat, while further denying both Cell and Frieza of their universal status. Since not only will the Kais have shown up to assist in a fight against Cell themselves, Shin flat out states every Kai would have no-diff Frieza if they wanted to. Now, I'm not saying that the universal Buu is 100% fact, and everyone's to believe me, and if you don't, you're stupid, because there is a pretty giant hole in this logic due to Kid Buu taking multiple years to destroy a singular galaxy. And the only universal feat any Buu does is when Gohan, that's the wrongest one, uses Fight Shout to create dimensional holes, which would cause the universe to implode due to multiple dimensions overlapping on itself. But even this is just a hacks ability Gohan wouldn't even scale to due to the Vice Shout just creating portals for dimensions to flow over, not him like actually creating that dimensions himself.
Looking to the description of the attack, we see that even specifically for Gohan's Vice Shout, that this attack was only covering the living world and had zero implications of impacting the other world or the Kai realm, something that may actually make it low multiversal. Furthermore, the feat itself is not just throwing a punch and making the universe explode. Gohan is opening up portals to other dimensions, and it's those dimensions that would destroy the universe, not the tears themselves. Dende even specifically says the problem is that the other dimensions rushing through the portals are going to destroy the universe. For a better analogy to understand what I mean, imagine Gohan was standing in front of a dam and punches a whole lot of holes in it, causing water to rush through those holes and cause a bunch of damage to a nearby town. Gohan himself would not scale to the damage caused by the water, he would just scale to the holes that he punched. It's just replace the holes with the dimensional tears and the water with the dimensions rushing through. So the feat isn't low multiversal, and either way, Gohan doesn't scale to the damage it will cause.
So while there are setbacks, Universal Buu Saga is a far more realistic highball at this point in the story, especially in comparison to previous arcs, as there's more blatant evidence for this line of scaling that further matches the author's intent of presenting these villains as a threat of this caliber. Okay, now we're out of Z and in the current age of Dragon Ball Super, and as soon as we walk in that door, we're slammed in the face with what is objectively the most iconic feat in the series. If you notice I haven't talked about speed much throughout the video, that's mostly because from here on out, the rest of Gohan's scaling will pretty much revolve around this one feat. And if you know anything about Dragon Ball scaling, you probably know this more than you do your own son. That's right, ladies and gents, it's the Battle of Gods Macrocosm feat! Yippee! If I never hear the words Dragon Ball Macrocosm again, it'll be 3 lifetimes too soon. See, in the first arc of Dragon Ball Super, Goku achieves the legendary form of Super Saiyan God in a battle for the Earth against the unstoppable God of Destruction, Beerus. And at the climax of this fight, as a side effect of them clashing their fists with reckless abandon, Goku and Beerus not only threaten the destruction of the universe, but the entirety of the Universe 7 macrocosm. with said destruction only being cancelled out by Goku further refining his ki and cancelling out the shockwaves that threatened the universe. Now before we go any further, you must be asking, my dear viewer,
my brother in Christ, what the hell is a macrocosm?
Well, I'm glad you asked. A macrocosm is, let me read this here. Okay, here we go. A whole of a complex structure, especially the world or the universe, contrasted with a small or representative part of it, contrasted with microcosm. Essentially, think of a group of smaller universes doing a Megazord sequence to create an even bigger universe Megazord. And that is exactly what the Dragon Ball universe is. As for the official map made by Akira Toriyama goes, the Universe 7 macrocosm is a combined universe made up of the living universe, the afterlife with heaven and hell being directly above and below it, with the world of the Kais revolving around the universe outside of the sphere. And the punches from Goku and Beerus was going to destroy all of it in 3 hits. Now, the exact size of the Dragon Ball macrocosm varies wildly depending on who you ask, with sizes ranging from 5 to over 1,000 times the size of our own universe. With the speed of the shockwaves caused by the Battle of Gods being calculated anywhere from 587 quadrillion to 1.4 quintillion times faster than light. Though the quintillion calculation was made by the complete disregard for the Dragon Ball Universe map, which I find extremely odd. So I'm just taking that more of an extreme highball than just the base speed. The base speed is going to be the 500 quadrillion or whatever. And honestly, no matter the size you think the universe is and how big it probably is, more on that later, it probably wouldn't matter in the long run, because by the current year, this feat will be trumped over like hundreds, if not thousands of times over. Remember, this feat not only happened in the first arc of Super, but said Super Saiyan God form will be absorbed into Goku's base form, meaning not only can he multiply the power of this feat with years worth of additional training and limit-breaking battles, but also with all his Super Saiyan forms to an insane degree. How much of a degree? I don't know. Let's find out actually. Now, keep in mind, this is 100% the bare minimum of what current Goku / Gohan can do. This is not some definitive exact number of terabytes per megabytes Goku can just blurt out, okay? With that in mind, let's just say the Dragon Ball macrocosm, at the very least, is an amalgamation of 5 universes. The universe we live in, the afterlife, the demon realm, heaven, and the planet of the Kais.
I know the planet of the Kais is far smaller than the actual universe, but I was consider it the same size as the whole universe for the sake of rounding.
It was stated and even shown that the afterlife is equal in size to the universe, and that each universe are stated to be their own separate dimensions with their own time spaces, so they all constitute as their own universe. That'll make the God Goku from the start of Super at least 5 times universal. This can immediately be multiplied with all the Super Saiyans 1 through 3, who all have official multipliers to them. Super Saiyan 1 being 50 times, Super Saiyan 2 being 2 times over Super Saiyan, and Super Saiyan 3 being 4 times over Super Saiyan 2. Now, Gohan does not have Super Saiyan 3, but instead his potential unleashed / ultimate form. Yes, it's a form, Gohan literally accesses it just like how he does with Super Saiyans, which is directly stated to put the Super Saiyan forms to shame in terms of power. So not only will Ultimate have a multiplier similar to that of 3, but it's most likely even higher than that of 3. But for now, we'll play it safe and just say it's 4 times stronger than Super Saiyan 2. Super Saiyan God, unfortunately, doesn't have an official multiplier to go off of, but we can make a decent assumption with some of the implications in the story. Before learning about the existence of Super Saiyan God, Goku states that even if he fused with Vegeta to fight against Beerus, they will still fail to defeat him. Potara fusions are implied to be the sum of character A plus character B, and then that sum is multiplied again by some unknown number. Vados, however, said it may be tens of times when talking about Kefla during the tournaments of power. So, let's just say baseline Vegito is Super Saiyan 3 Goku plus Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, which by the time of Battle of Gods, it was stated that Vegeta has matched and even surpassed Goku while only in Super Saiyan 2, meaning it could very likely be a 400 times base of Goku plus the 400 times base of Vegeta multiplied by 10, making Vegeta 8,000 times stronger than base Goku. Then we can multiply that by another 400 thanks to Super Saiyans 1 through 3. And from here on, we can just make the assumption that Super Saiyan God is at least 5 times stronger than that of Super Saiyan 3, making God Goku theoretically a 80,000 times multiplier from base. I really hope I got my math right, because we're still going. Now, I like to note that Gohan, up to halfway through Super, didn't actually scale to any of this due to him infamously slacking on his training for multiple years. But in preparation for the Tournament of Power, Gohan decided to put the gi back on and reawaken the potential lying dormant within him, all the way up to the point where he can match his father in a fight even as a Super Saiyan Blue. What's a Super Saiyan Blue? Well, it's really just Super Saiyan God that went Super Saiyan. Yeah, it's literally that simple, same 50 times multiplier and all. Gohan being a Super Saiyan Blue level transformation is actually pretty consistent, all things considered, as with the recent arc/movie, Gohan goes up against the androids Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, creation of the genius Dr. Hedo and the Red Ribbon Army, who have been directly compared to Goku and Vegeta, at least up to the Mora arc, as the arc that took place after was off planet. And once again, it took Gohan transforming into his ultimate state to gain an advantage on Gamma 1. And in this same event, Gohan unlocks his full potential and final form, Beast Gohan. A form so powerful, it can not only match the strongest the universe has to offer, but possibly even surpass it. Again, no official multiplier, but we can make a decent assumption considering that the form is almost every standpoint is still going to power to the likes of Ultra Instinct Goku and Ultra Ego Vegeta. Goku, with just Ultra Instinct Shine, proved to be a better match against Jiren even after stacking Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken. But by the way, Goku can use Kaioken now. I forgot to talk about that because the technique pretty much disappeared off the face of the earth until the Universe 6 arc in Super. Anyways, stacking Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken up to 20 times over. While the form did lose against Jiren at first, up until the end of the tournament, UI Sign Goku grew in power to the point where it can match a new full power Jiren, which could be at least 4 to 5 times stronger than the suppressed Jiren Goku first fought, considering he pulled out his full power against Goku and 2 other characters comparable to Goku, and still have an extremely sizable gap between all of them. Yes, Frieza was technically also there, but Jiren didn't count for him anyways, since he thought he got eliminated earlier in the tournament. Anyways. And Master Ultra Instinct not only matched and surpassed this Jiren, but he even defeated Jiren in his new final form, which even Gohan himself noted as him unlocking his hidden potential similar to his own ultimate form, making Ultra Instinct, and by extension Gohan Beast, at least 50 times stronger than base Super Saiyan Blue, or around 30 times stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, which Ultimate Gohan immediately lost to, so you can see why it didn't take that part, you know. But wait, there's just one more secret multiplier that I want to add. The training multiplier. Really, this is just a random thing I made up to account for the years of training that happened since the Battle of Gods arc. Last reminder that this, even more so, is a extreme assumption. And I'm basing this off the increase of power levels, which hasn't been a thing since the Namek Saga over like 30 years ago. And also with the assumption that the training Goku and Vegeta does is equal to that of the training he did on King Kai's planet. Which is not. Goku, before dying for the first time, had a power level of 1,500. And when he came back a year later to fight the Saiyan invasion, he increased his base power to 8,000. Meaning 1 year of training is equal to about a 5.33 times multiplier. The Battle of Gods arc happened the day Videl announced he was pregnant with Gohan's kid, Pan. And as of right now, Pan is 3 years old. So canonically, 4 years has passed since the start of Dragon Ball Super. And accounting for the fact that Goku and Vegeta has trained in the Time Chamber for 3 years, meaning at most, Goku has done 70 years worth of training after Battle of Gods. getting the theoretical multiplier of 37.3, or 37 to round it. You combine all of these power amps together, and you get a Gohan who could theoretically destroy a whopping give me a second. 14.8 trillion universes at a whopping speed of 1.73 non-million times the speed of light. And you wanna know the funniest part? The speed part is even more below ball than the strength. There's like multiple scans for the actual size of the Dragon Ball universe being infinite in size. And considering Gohan scales way above the feat that could destroy infinite space in a finite amount of time, then at this point he should easily be in the infinite speed tier of speed. So Jesus Christ. I think the most surprising thing is the fact this guy has weaknesses. Yeah, if you know like anything about Dragon Ball, you will know that despite all this incredible power, Gohan is horribly inconsistent with damn near everything. See, despite usually being a kind, soft-spoken, pacifistic guy, if Gohan knows he's stronger than you, then he lets that power go to his head faster than any speed calc you'll ever find. This tendency to overconfidence has been detrimental in his fights on multiple occasions and has made galactic level disasters somehow even worse. And it's crazy to me how this guy has to go to be this damn confident over his power despite how little he actually trains. And yeah, I get it. You're not a fighter. You're a family man first, arguably a scholar second, and a fighter for the earth third. And I respect that. I really do. But this has been a problem for you on 3 separate occasions. And you're only now deciding this is time to truly lock in. Like, God, man, I love you, but you piss me off sometimes, man. Despite the many ups and downs that came and gone in Gohan's life, there is no argument that Gohan is one of the greatest warriors in the universe. No, the multiverse has ever seen. He's a man deserving to carry on the line of the sun.
I had a really cool line here to finish things off, but my audio cut out really early for some reasons. So I'm gonna just use this cut time to talk about one last thing. Higher dimensional Dragon Ball. Yay or nay? Maybe. Let's talk about it. For those who don't know, for the past few years, there's been a Daijinsu scan that may imply the afterlife being far more than just a regular old universe, but instead a higher outer versal realm beyond the concepts of space and time. And since characters like Gohan could destroy this space in their base form, that would make them outer as well. Right? Again, let's talk about it, because there is an increasing amount of people who believe the outer scaling is 100% correct, and there's seemingly an equal amount of people who believe the line scaling is complete wank bullshit. Me? Kinda in the middle. Now, TLDR, for those who don't care about this part and just want to skip to the Ultraman Zero segment. Get me out of here! No, I don't believe the outer life of Dragon Ball is outer. I don't think anything in Dragon Ball is outer versal. But I think arguing that the afterlife is a higher dimensional structure, which would give Dragon Ball complex multiversal scaling,
it's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
But first, let's start with the whole beyond time and space thing. My problem with these is that despite the guy's statements telling us the time doesn't exist in the afterlife, the manga and anime kinda clearly shows otherwise. Specifically in the Saiyan Saga, as when Goku as an afterlife resident who last crossed the Snake Road, they responded what King Yama did a couple million years ago, aka a long time ago. And it's also a very big plot point in the Saiyan Saga that Goku and King Kai kept track of how much time they spent training in the afterlife so Goku can make it back on Earth on time. And the usual argument against these is that the residents are simply trying to give Goku an easy translation of how much time will have passed in a timeless dimension. But if this really was the case, why would King Kai be stressing so much about how much time it would take for Goku to return home? If Goku goes to a place with 0 time, stays there for a year, and goes back out, 0 time would have passed in the normal world, which very clearly isn't the case, considering Goku showed up multiple hours late to his fight with Vegeta. So if time exists in the afterlife, then so does space, which would make sense considering physical mortals like Goku or Kid Buu can just teleport in and out of the afterlife whenever they feel like it. There's also the statement of the world being dimensionally transcendental to any human realm or dimension. While these sound like very easy outer scaling, our problem with these is that to be above any dimension specifically known to man, as said, that wouldn't exactly mean much since the only dimension that fits that description is the regular old universe. Most other dimensions you see in DB are usually ones made by gods or completely separate from our universe entirely. And to be above the base universe, which is 4D, the afterlife would have to be 5D, which I think is far more consistent and believable. People will also argue against the 5D scaling due to DBZ taking a lot of cues from Hinduism, and the transcendence being purely a spiritual matter and wouldn't upscale anything dimensionally. But buddy, head on your shoulder. Dying in Hinduism also transcends your dimensionality. The Buddha? Yeah, the Buddha? You know that guy, the Buddha? Yeah, he was only able to achieve nirvana until after his soul was set free from his body, and through that, has achieved enlightenment beyond anything man could ever imagine, similar to how it works in Dragon Ball. And while I think scaling religion is very fucking cringe, if we were able to do that, anyone who reached nirvana is like easily outer, no questions asked. But as I made very clear before, I don't think Dragon Ball's form of transcendence is as crazy, but I think there is reasonable enough arguments to at least say it's somewhat higher dimensionally. So, TLDR, I don't believe in outerverse of Dragon Ball, but I think the low complex or 5-dimensional stuff, well, very iffy. It's much more believable highball. Yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say now.
Cue the ending clip!
Is that all you got?
Long time ago, in a galaxy far beyond our own, stationed the galactic nebula of M78, otherwise known as the Land of Light. The people who prohibited this land of light were much like our own, until one day, their star, their shining light in the sky, vanished.
And as the Age of Darkness has begun, however, the people of the Land of Light refused to let this be their end, and with the power of their greatest scientists, they were able to create their own star that would support them for many millennia, the Plasma Spark. The bright light from Spark changed and mutated the people of Light into giants with near limitless abilities, and with these new bodies and a strong sense of justice, these giants of light will become the leading force against evil across the universe, the ambassador of light, the Ultraman.
Or is it men? Ultraman? Ultramen? I mean, if I'm not tripping, they say something like, "We are Ultraman!" when they're like together in like crossover movies and events and junk. So maybe I was right the first time. Anyways.
Eventually, the Land of Light would make first contact with the residents of Earth in 1967, as their guardians from many monsters who may harm them. Many Ultras have come and gone, but one thing is true about them all. These Ultras were heroes. And the one of the greatest heroes of them all was the legendary Ultra 7.
The second Ultraman to land on Earth. Alright, man.
Who, back on the Land of Light, was distraught to find his own son almost committed a crime an Ultra hasn't committed in thousands of years, stealing the Plasma Spark. Disappointed, yet still believing in the potential of his son, Seven would banish this boy off planet to be trained with his fellow Ultra brother Leo, an Ultraman King, in hopes that one day his son would become a hero greater than even he was. Many years later, with the fate of every Ultraman on the line, that day finally came. Seven's son returned with the will to protect every living being he can, and is now revered as one of the greatest Ultramen to ever live. He is the Ultra who dawned the new age of heroes. He is the man without limits. His name is
Zero! Ultraman Zero! セブンの息子だ! きっと誰かが待っている声がする遥か彼方に続いてる銀河輝く腕の光に正義を誓う君の名はウルトラマン
As you can infer from the intro, Ultraman as a franchise is really old. And that means Zero has a very long scaling chain to bounce off of due to Ultraman being a lot more interconnected with each other than most other tokusatsu, with lore and antagonists from previous seasons showing up in series far after their own. And in some cases, even the Ultraman themselves will show up as plot important characters for the show. Hell, Zero himself is infamous for this, as he commonly just show up mid-season of another Ultra show and then leave just like it's nothing. That's just canon now. Okay, and we know Zero lies very high in this chain for two reasons. One, because Tsuburaya said so. Yeah, ever since like the very beginning of the series, Tsuburaya would very commonly take statements about how their newest Ultraman are made to be way stronger than their predecessor. They even say this to this very day with the most recent seasons like Arc and Blazar. But to be entirely honest, this is a very lazy way to upscale the characters, and there's so many inconsistencies in this line of scaling that to use it unironically in big, ginormous, hulking gargantuan 2026 is just ludicrous. For the Showa era and its Ultra brothers, yeah, it's pretty believable actually, but for anything Heisei and beyond, other woke nonsense. There are characters like Ultraman Mebius who has this statement, but the show made it dramatically clear that he is the rookie of the Ultra brothers and either did far worse against enemy kaiju compared to his older brothers like Taro, or just flat out lose to him in a one-on-one fight like he did with Leo or Leo, whatever. And like, yeah, Mirai did go through his own training arc and eventually met even with Leo, fuck it, I don't care. But that alone already goes against the argument people will bring up of saying base beginning of series Ultras are stronger than anything and everything that came before him. Hell, Zero himself works as a contradiction. Not only did he directly state he's stronger than X when they first met, he also mentored multiple other Ultras that came after him, like Ginga, Victory, and most recently and prominently, Ultraman. Yeah, that guy. So bare minimum, he either upscales from all Ultras who came after him, as to this very day he is still considered one of the strongest Ultras to ever exist, or Zero can stand on equal ground to Ultras who came after him, like Jeed. The other way you can get Zero high in this chain is by simply scaling him to his arch enemy and lifetime rival, Ultraman Belial. If the obviously evil design and the fact his name is literally that of the devils wasn't telling enough, Ultraman Belial is an evil Ultraman who first attempted to steal the Plasma Spark before Zero, and is one of the greatest enemies of the Land of Light. While he did fail at first and was locked away for God knows how long, he eventually escaped his interstellar prison Tai Lung style and proceeds to solo the entire planet of light. And I'm not just talking about a bunch of random civilians on the way. No, this is including main Ultras. Hikari, Mebius, Max, Literal Coughing Baby, International Ultraman like Powered and Death. Every Ultra brother, including their leader Zuffy, and most importantly, the father and mother of Ultra, the top leaders of the entire intergalactic defense force. And after he did all of that, he will then successfully take the plasma sparks to use as his own power and leave the entire planet in the eternal ice age. And Zero, in his first ever fight after his training in the base, mid-diff burial. If that's not top 10 worthy, I don't know what is. I don't shut up. Zero being this high in the chain is very important because these Ultras are stupid strong. Starting off with their strength, even at their barest minimum. Most Ultraman bear attack power in the multi-solar system ranges of power, with Universal not even being that crazy of a highball. The solar system metas comes from when the weakest Ultraman, who we're just going to call Manny-san for the rest of the video for the sake of differentiation, can do crazy shit like turn kaijus into entire constellations, like with multiple stars and shit. And this is like super consistent considering the Land of Light's many bouts with the Zeton race of kaiju. Don't let the freaky design fool you. Even the weakest of this race constituted as final boss material for Mandy-san. And not only did this thing actually low diff him, Mandy-san literally died trying to fight one of these things. And I wouldn't even blame him, considering these things can shoot fireballs at 1 trillion degrees. Do you know how much fucking energy is in 1 trillion degrees? I'll tell you right now, it's 460 trillion times more energy than our sun. And I'm reading this for the multiple guides and supplementary material stating that Zeton could easily and instantly erase our entire solar system. And we could go even higher, as early on in Ultraman, Mandy-san fought the alien Bolton, who is a 4th dimensional entity in practically every sense of the word. Like, you have to try really hard to argue against it when it's literally classified as the 4th dimensional monster. And even this scaling is consistent, as the main antagonist of Ultraman Ace, Buu, has been described on many occasions to be an extra dimensional entity, which literally just means he's from a higher dimension beyond our own normal universe. And Buu definitely fits this criteria, since he spent most of his screen time in a completely separate universe from our own. What adds more to this is that for the most part, Buu can't infiltrate our universe through normal means, and for most of his screen time, he only interacts with us via wiggle human forms or by creating dimensional cracks in the sky that allows him to transport his kaiju to attack for him. Multiple cases of 4th dimensional entities like Bolton, Buu, and his little exploded group he had while working under the Emperor Seiji, who could easily one-shot all of these guys, easily constitutes Universe Plus levels of attack potency. And one of the greater feats comes from one of the Land of Light's greatest rivals, the Absolutines. Another race of giants that acts as sort of parallel version of the Giants of Light from another universe. Before their war for the planet started, one of the strongest Absolutines, Absolute Diabolo, first made his trip to the Land of Light from their universe to ours, and took like 5 other universes with him. This is a super casual feat for him, as the erasure of the other universes was just a byproduct of the residual energy of his travels to our universe. And within his race, Diavolo is only second to Absolute Tartarus, and is constantly compared to him as his equal, or at least someone of a similar level. While he never beat Tartarus in going all out yet, Zero was able to push a suppressed Tartarus into going all out due to how frustrated he was while fighting Zero, making it more than possible Zero could match the power the casual Diavolo has shown in the past. Hell, Tartarus even recognizes Zero as a legitimate threat to him and his army, a title given to very few other Ultras. So when going all out, Zero is likely in the low multiversal ranges of power. Though there is one more feat I like to talk about that put him way higher, but I'll say that for later as we go into what's probably Zero's strongest attribute, his speed. Yeah, Zero is damn near infamous for his insane speed and being one of, if not the fastest Ultra in the entire Galactic Defense Force. And being that is especially impressive considering one of the weakest, most baby bitch ass Ultras far MFTL levels of speeds, as they all have the ability to travel from their home of M78 all the way to Earth and back, which is a distance of 3 million light years. And these Ultras can travel this distance from anywhere to a day to a few hours to less than a minute, with the fastest of these speeds reaching 2 trillion times faster than light. And when compared to Zero, these speeds are on the lower ends of his scale, as in his first solo mission in Rise of Belial, Zero, along with the light of the entire planet on his side, flew to the outer reaches of his universe, into the hyperspace that revealed the infinite Ultraman multiverse. And to just keep in mind, our universe is 93 billion light years in diameter, or 19 sextillion kilometers. And Zero crossed outside of the universe in a span of 49 seconds. Meaning to achieve this feat, Zero reached speeds up to 1 quadrillion times the speed of light. Now before y'all start trying to get on my ass about how this is an outlier because Zero was asked by the whole planet to do this feat, 1, there is no proof or implication that Zero suddenly lost the power he used to do the trick. 2, we already established that Zero scales to most, if not all, of the Land of Light via Belial scaling, so it's likely he can do the feat by himself, just a little bit slower. And 3, he actually proves that he can do this feat in the Dark Class Zero prequel project that leads up to Revenge of Belial, where a fictitious Zero escapes another universe with a big bang trailing on his ass. And oh, would you look at that? It's only slightly slower than the other universe crossing feat. How funny! And 4. All this wouldn't matter anyways, because he does a way better feat, like immediately after. So, shrug. The reason Zero escaped this universe in the first place was to find the source of the army who attacked them hailing from another universe. So he just goes right to it. In like less than 10 seconds. With this feat being calculated at... let's see. Yeah, okay, I read that right. Yeah, making sure I just read this right. 3 quintillion times the speed of light. Keep in mind, this feat was from a Zero very early into his career, and with Zero super forms to his name. So it's very likely current Zero is far faster than this. How much faster? I don't know. Let's find out. Now, unlike Gohan, Zero and his many forms doesn't have flat out confirmed multipliers, so this list is kind of based on assumptions of what the forms of power may be based on the lore, feats, and supplementary material on the form. I think this way you can get the closest to the objective, quote unquote, multipliers for these forms, so please take these with just a tiny grain of salt. First up, there's Zero's Luna Miracle style and strong Corona forms he attained after the events of Ultraman Saga. These forms are based on and are directly taken from the respective speed and power forms of Ultraman Cosmos and Ultraman Dyna, who are all relative to Zero himself, so most likely a 3 times multiplier. Then there's the ultimate Zero he unlocks during Revenge of Belial, which is a power given to him by Ultraman Noah, who is... God? Yeah, God. He's totally like the god of Ultras. I can't even do like the joke I did last time with the Overlord of Darkness. And at base, it's suspected to be a 5 times multiplier, which makes sense. It was stated to be a power he gave out to others throughout his journey, being brought back to him and multiplied by God and then given form. But I think this multiplier could be made even higher, as with Zero's finishing move, he was able to one-shot Belial in his massive Godzilla rip-off form, which easily overpowered Zero and his friends while they were trying to protect the planet. And Belial was toying around with Zero while in this form, so it wasn't like he was going all out until Ultimate Zero debuted, meaning Arch Belial is at least 5 times stronger than base Zero. And using the Versus Battle Wiki definition of a one-shot, Zero must have been 8 times stronger than Belial in that form, thus making Ultimate Zero at least 13 times his base form, 10 times when including his Miracle and Corona forms, which actually debuted after Ultimate Zero. Shining Zero is pretty much Zero's Super Saiyan 2 with some crazy abilities that I'll get into later. But for now, it's at least 15 times stronger than Ultimate Zero, since it's a form superior than that of Darkness Zero, a form Zero was forced into after Belial in a suit of armor that aimed him to be even with Ultimate Zero possessed him. So pretty simple, that's the 10 times Ultimate Zero with the guy who just as strong as the 10 times Ultimate Zero. And again, Shining is far stronger than that, but we don't know the exact number, so let's just say it's 5 times stronger than Darkness as a rough minimum estimate. Now, Zero Beyond was a tricky one to figure out where to even put on the list, because most of Zero's other forms were out of commission at the time, and it was rough to gauge where it stood compared to other forms. Luckily, I found a scan that states it's the strongest form at the time, so we're just gonna go off that. Bare minimum, Beyond is a 4 to 5 times multiplier due to it being made from the Ultra Capsules of 4 other Ultramen who are at least somewhat relative to Zero. Ultra Capsules being items containing the power and essence of other Ultramen with the purpose of conservation and for other Ultras being able to utilize them in battle. But during this time, Zero was also playing as almost secondary MC to Ultraman G, and even did somewhat better against them during his final fight with Belial Atrocitus than G did with his final form, Royal Mega Master. Which is at least 20 times more powerful than his previous strongest form. And finally, we have Zero's current final form, Ultimate Shining Zero. It's pretty simple. The form is literally described as the ultimate form multiplied by the ultimate form of Ultimate Zero and Shining Zero, making it a 150 times multiplier for the pre-training version. Alright, give me a sec. This part's just kind of weird. See, the first time Zero used the form, he kind of failed miserably to use it to his fullest potential against Absolute Tartarus. So, in the Destined Crossroad, Zero trained to further master the form for the next time he combats Tartarus. And in that training, he unlocks the power of Wild Burst, which is the weirdest damn thing. It's less of a form as it is a technique similar to that of Kaioken, but it's still very much treated as a form anyways, so I guess I gotta count it. And because of very little screen time it has, it's tough to figure out an exact multiplier for the form based on the singular fight it was in. You could argue it has some relativity to Absolute Tartarus, seeing how it's one attack was able to stagger and surprise him. The only other form that was able to do this was Ultimate Shining Zero. So based off of that, we can say Wild Burst is theoretically a 100 times multiplier, since it's still a weaker form of power compared to that of Ultimate Shining. And with Wild Burst's ability of its ultimate overlap, Zero can essentially mix this form with any of his other forms for better ease of use, and an even more unpredictable fighting style imprinted onto the form, theoretically making Wild Burst a new base form for Zero that he could mix all of his other forms on top of, which I'm going to do right now. Look at that. And for the sake of being fair and knowing Zero has been training and fighting since his debut, we can still include the training multiplier like how I did with Gohan. Let's see here, 5.5 times 15 equals 82.5. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Oh, how I know it's been 15 years canonically for Zero? Come here. You'll never guess whose anniversary we're celebrating right now. Anyways, you crunch all of these numbers together and you get Zero at the speed of 380 decillion times faster than light, with enough power to destroy 100 trillion universes. And same as with Gohan, there are many statements about a universe in Ultraman being infinite in size or boundless without an edge to it. And seeing as Zero very calmly travels around the multiverse casually, this would easily give him infinite speed. But wait, there's more! As with his Shining form, Zero gains the ability to have complete control over time. With Shooting Star Drive, Zero can stop time, reverse time and any attacks coming his way, and freely traverse time whenever, giving him more support for infinite speed and possibly even immeasurable speed while in this form. And remember earlier when I said there's one more AP feat I'd like to talk about? Whoa, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, allow me to introduce you to the Superdimensional Bomb! Anyways, the SDER is a Ultra Nuke created by Ultraman Belial. This nuke has enough power to eradicate the entire universe and all the Ultras within it. In an event later named the Crisis Impact, it was something that was only stopped by Ultraman King by sacrificing his body and using it to keep the universe intact. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ultima! That may have sounded cool, but compared to the literal trillions you were talking about earlier, a single universe bomb doesn't sound too crazy now, not gonna lie. And you'll be right. So it's a damn good thing this thing is far more than just a universal bomb. In the Ultra Force Zero novel, it was revealed that the Superdimensional Bomb was truly living up to its name. To further master his power of Shining, Zero finds himself at the Waterfall of Time, the place that is the nexus point of all time across the infinite Ultraman multiverse. This place most likely takes place within the hyperspace which contains said infinite multiverse. Hyperspace being yet another higher dimension by definition. Hyperspace being able to contain infinite universal bubbles within it, and most likely being above fourth dimensional spaces like Bolton and Yapul, means hyperspace is a fifth dimensional space. People will find Zero being able to exist in this place at all enough to give him 5D scaling, but come on, we can do a little bit better. Back at the waterfall lives the Guardian of Time, who appeared to teach Zero to further his mastery over his power, though he only appeared as a disembodied light separated from his body. Was when the Guardian revealed that the SDER was more than just a big nuke, but instead a space-time distorting event that was even threatening the Waterfall of Time itself. The Guardian of Time was hit by just the shockwaves of the blast, and his body was sent flying through time and space to a completely different era, with his consciousness split away from said body. And the waterfall itself would have been at least heavily damaged if it weren't for Ultraman King coming to stop the event in time. Meaning the Super Dimension Eradication Bomb wasn't just threatening the existence of one universe, but all universes across all of time and space, making the okay, the joke's not funny anymore. Making Belial's bomb a 5D to complex multiversal weapon. And Zero could genuinely scale to this, as Belial absorbed the power of Ultraman King across the universe to achieve his final form, Belial Atrocitus, which has been stated to have enough power to cause a second Crisis Impact. Now, I'll admit, there are some problems with this line of scaling, since we don't exactly know how Belial could cause a second Crisis Impact. We know he achieved this form by absorbing a lot of Ultraman King's energy, who was the guy who was able to stop the first impact. And King's energy was holding the universe together after the crisis event started. So it's likely it's something he could replicate with just his AP, but considering the statement of Belial being able to replicate the power of the crisis impact came from a random reporter and Leto, which, you know, he's my GOAT and all, but what the hell do you know about multiversal destruction, buddy? It's not the most consistent thing, but it's a definite highball you can't take. And, you know, besides being a space cop, Zero does come with his fair share of downsides. Despite being one of the most well-respected Ultras of his kind, Zero still has a mind of an angsty young adult who likes to feed into his own ego. While it hasn't been a problem most of the time, there has been times where Zero could at least start off a fight extremely cocky until feeling the need to lock in the further the fight goes on. There's also the fact that his ultimate Aegis is very susceptible to being damaged and overworked to the point of needing repairs over the course of an entire season. So-called ultimate shield shits itself when you use the shield too damn much. Zero, I think it got scammed by God. There's also the main problem with the Ultra races, inconsistent stamina. Depending on how much solar energy they can absorb and conserve, an Ultra can last as long as multiple hours or as short as 3 minutes max. And Zero is no different. Hell, Shining Form famously drains most of Zero's energy to almost zero. And Ultimate Shining Zero is just as, if not even more taxing on his body, even after de-transforming from it. Still, Zero has proved time and again that he has earned his marks as one of the greatest Ultras to ever do it. So look out, world. There's a shining light in the sky fighting to protect us all. And you're just 20,000 years too early if you think you could ever snuff it out. Yeah, we're doing this again. I'm sorry. Don't worry though, I'll try to make this quick. Since same as Gohan, there are far higher arguments for Ultraman that I could take into account. The problem is I won't be talking about those arguments here since they will change the conclusion of the vid a bit too much. And I really don't want to re-record all of that. Oh my gosh. So for all the Ultraman buddies watching this thinking I'm lowballing him like crazy, Gomen. I'll try better next time, I swear. So, instead of a last second upscale, I'll be talking about the universal physiology of the Ultra race. Yeah, Gohan gets to go up a entire dimension of power, and Zero gets to have a fucking biology class. So sit and learn. These guys got some pretty crazy abilities to pull from them. First of all, as giants of light, Ultras like Zero have their bodies primarily composed of, well, light. While they do still have organs like lungs or a heart, since they're just evolved humans, this unique trait of them allows them to be slashed, bashed, and stabbed repeatedly and still have the energy to keep fighting. They can also absorb light from sources like the sun for energy. Since Ultras are beings of justice, making it their sworn duty to protect the universe, they can only unlock their true power through hope. And I don't mean like symbolically. They quite literally absorb the light from the tears and faith others put on them. And they can use this light not only as a complete recharge after a long fight, it even allows them to reach new heights of power that can make an Ultra's base form surpass their final form. Hell, even the light and cheer from a single person can do a full recharge for multiple Ultras. But in honesty, this pales in comparison to an Ultra's most broken ability. Their very existence as an absolute force. As beings of justice and hope, Ultras act as an absolute universal force, a concept to protect those who can't protect themselves that can't be erased, even if the story they're in demands their very defeat. A playwright by the name of Narumi Hiroya was able to break the boundaries between reality and fiction and make the real world his own theatrical world. A world where the monster of his making brings it to its end. An ending only he knows because he was the one who wrote it. Yet, despite this, Ultraman Dyna was able to succeed because his ultimate existence as Ultraman is that of God itself. This means not only does Ultraman have passive plot manipulation, in Dyna's case, the same Dyna Zero borrows his powers from can actively warp the very plot around him to ensure victory, even if it's literally certain death. Anyways, that's more of the ultra basics of these Ultramen. And now we can finally end this with our conclusion. Also, if you didn't like the immeasurable scaling I gave before, Base Zero is able to walk through all of time actively trying to drown him out. And he scaled above Ultraman Ace, who's able to travel through time casually by just flying. Anyways, back to the video! Alright, let's compare these stats. Now, starting out with the base stats, you'll see one clear thing. Gohan has a clear power edge, while Zero has a clear speed edge. Gohan definitely has more than enough power to probably just one-shot Zero, while Zero has more than enough power to just flat out speed blitz Gohan. So, sure, Gohan can just use stronger forms to close the speed gap and even surpass it, but Zero can do the same thing, eventually leading right down to the same issue, huh? What's that? What do you mean Zero is actually stronger than Beast Gohan? He's going all out. Well, almost 10 times? And he still got the speed advantage? What did we just take out those stupid training multipliers? He's still stronger? Okay. It seems Gohan is falling behind just a little bit. But that's just fine. That's just fine. A simple 2 stats can't dictate the entire fight. So, let's step into these other stats and see if Gohan can catch up. Oh, please don't kill me really fast. Gohan's stamina is pretty easy to figure out. Not only is he able to train with his father and Piccolo for a year straight, but he was also able to find the tournament of power. And it wouldn't even be crazy to say he could have lasted the full 48 minutes of constant fighting in a battlefield with the multiverse's strongest opponents. Zero, on the other hand, is a little... Again, he's very inconsistent. The Earth sucks so much that the pollution only allows him to fight for like 3 minutes. But on any other planet, he's just fine. Though most of his fights that happen off planet don't last much longer than 3 minutes anyways. So, there are cases of other Ultras being able to fly across space for hours, actually even days straight, but I'm not exactly too sure how well that translates to them combat-wise. Though there are cases where Zero himself trains with other Ultras for presumably multiple years straight, like with Leo, his dad, and Junius, or when he trained for a decade with Orb. Apparently, I'm still watching that one, and I don't want too much spoilers, so most of the training was off screen though, so it's unclear exactly how long these training sessions lasted. And then there's the form Zero has that drains his energy far harder than any form Gohan has. There's like so many variables to account for it that even the setting of the fight can dictate how the stamina battle will go, with Zero's highs being far higher than Gohan's and simultaneously far lower. The safest bet is to just say it's a tie here and move on.
World's first bionic superhumans. They're smarter than us.
Not beating around the bush here, Gohan should definitely take this one. Zero's not stupid or anything, far from it, but Gohan is a scholar first and a fighter second. He spent most of his life studying to become a top grade scholar and is now studying for Super Saiyan Beals in the mansion owned by one of the richest guys on the planet. So yeah, it goes to him.
Come to the street, bro. I will beat your motherfucking ass.
Remember, Gohan is a scholar first and a fighter second. Sure, he trained with some of the greatest fighters on the planet, and there's no doubt that he's definitely a skilled fighter. But Gohan is infamously known for slacking off on his training and letting his fighting skills get rusty. And when it comes to actually using his IQ to strategize in fights, those strategies usually boils down to...
I'm gonna walk up to him slowly and hit him hard. But Gohan! Well, if that doesn't work, hit him harder.
I shit you not, his final form literally revolves around the idea of Gohan letting his emotions run wild to the point of going berserk until he just eventually overpowers his opponent. If that doesn't speak like 7 volumes about Gohan's battle IQ, I don't know what does. Compare this 30-year-old Gohan to Zero, who is almost 6,000 years old and was most likely training with the planet's greatest martial artist for most of that time. Even if we just lowball Zero's training to something like right after the events of Ultra 7, that's still double the training than Gohan's entire lifespan. Not only that, Zero was taught in the ways of space martial arts, which is martial arts, but in space.
That's like literally all the info I could find for it. I think it might be like some form of karate. I'm not too sure.
And he was trained by Ultraman Leo in the ways of the martial art. The same Leo that has a 15-0 record over Ultraman Regulus, the Grand Master of the Cosmo Beast style martial art, which has been stated to be the most powerful martial art in the universe. Plus, Zero has so much more creativity and skill with his moveset than Gohan probably ever did. Zero easily takes battle IQ. Okay, so far so good. Taking the first 2 stats out of the equation, Gohan and Zero seems pretty even so far. I guess it's time for the tiebreaker and see who takes the final stat of abilities and hex.
The winner is Zero.
Yeah, I'm sorry, there really was no beating around the bush here. Zero simply had far more options to use compared to Gohan. Besides punches and kicks, Gohan has Blue Beam of Death, Yellow Beam of Death, smaller yellow balls if I'm not winning this fight, and charged up Drill Beam of Death. Compare this to Zero, who inherited his father's head sluggers, which he could either have fly off his head and control the flight patterns of, and even make more of in his other forms. Pretty much meaning he'll have complete control over the battlefield and pace of the fight. Said sluggers can be used as dual-wielded daggers or fused into a giant twin-bladed sword, or even help Zero fire a fucking Unibeam. He could literally fight as 2 niggas with Miracle and Chrono Zero, transcend space itself and make portals as Ultimate Zero, control time as Shining Zero, theoretically make himself way up to infinity as Zero Beyond using the power of Ultraman Giga and Victory, and increase his powers even more with Wild Burst while making his fighting style damn near unreadable for all of his forms. The best thing Gohan has isn't even like an actual move or beam of death, but instead his latent potential lying within his genes. Gohan's power rises exponentially along with his emotions, giving him new levels of power at an explosive rate. If the fight goes on long enough, even with the massive gap at first, it wouldn't even be the craziest thing to say Gohan could at least take back the power gap and surpass Zero if given enough time. It's the same Zero may or may not have a direct counter to this. In his Luna Miracle form, Zero is able to forcibly push out the Kaiju souls out of the alien bat before finishing him off in Ultra Zero fight. This move is extremely weird because not only is it an unnamed move that looks exactly like another actually named move that does a completely different thing, but depending on interpretation, Zero could either completely eject the souls out of his opponent's body, which does explain the Kaijus flying out of alien bat's body, but that brings you to question why the move didn't eject bat's souls also, along with the other kaiju. And also, why would Luna even have this type of ability when Cosmos and Dyna doesn't have a move like this, even though this form is directly based off those 2 characters? So the most likely interpretation is that Zero purified and expelled the corrupted souls within Alien Bat, which is something Cosmos can do, and still explains why the good kaiju got expelled out of the evil body of Alien Bat. And the funny thing about Super Saiyans and Beast form most likely is that these forms increases the malice within a person's heart. This is exactly why Goku can't charge a Spirit Bomb while as a Super Saiyan, as while in that state he doesn't have a pure heart. And since these forms are directly connected to malicious energy that could be exercised, theoretically, Luna Zero could literally palm strike the Super Saiyan out of Gohan.
It's over, Zero. Once I'm like this, I'm unstoppable. Not even you and that oddly extra blue form can stop.
Wait, what are you doing? Why are you getting closer? Hey, stop that. Hey, let go. Hey.
Sure, Gohan would probably still have his ultimate form after the fact, since that's a form not awakened by rage, but him being locked out of all of his other forms is huge, and makes the catch-up game with Zero almost impossible. So, in mid-ball terms, Zero would pretty handily take the win in most circumstances. Highball is not much better either, because even if you get Gohan to like complex multi in some way or another, and even at the power gap with Zero, he's still far less consistently in the infinite speed ranges, with his scaling coming from scaling to other characters, while Zero gets his scaling from actual feats he does like all the goddamn time. Plus, Gohan still wouldn't have any immeasurable speed arguments, unlike Zero, making this a possibly even bigger stomp. While this truly was a match of two complete powerhouses, only one son of a legend could come out on top of this match, with a man who always breaks his limits versus the man who has none. Ultraman Zero was the one who came out on top. And as of right now, I think there's zero doubt about it. Shit, man, that's like right in my ear. What? What? No, I was gonna do it later. Okay, fine. I'll do it right now. Just give me like five seconds. It's like, geez, that was really loud for me. God. Oh my fucking. Okay, fine. Lightning round. If you believe in 5D afterlife, you may be able to get Gohan up to 6D with the timeline scaling from Mugen Samasi. Possibly 70 if you believe the world of lights from the Broly movie is another higher dimension. I'm still iffy on giving these guys immeasurable speed, but for the sake of the argument, sure, we're gonna give it to them anyways. As for Zero, the average Ultraman universe are able to contain multiple fourth dimensional spaces. The bows containing these universes are the water timeline of the entire universe, transcending all within it, making those 5D bare minimum. Hyperspace is a world beyond all of these infinite bubbles, making that a 6-dimensional space. If you want to, you can interpret the waterfall of time as a place separate and beyond the hyperspace, making that 7D. And then there's the Narak, the absolutians use to transcend time and space, something that is repeated multiple times during Ultra Galaxy Fight, and even allows them to travel through time and the wider multiverse, making it beyond the waterfall as 8D. And just like the other two members of the Tokusatsu Big Three, there is a definitive real world that Zero may or may not scale to. I'm honestly still not sure. There, done. I mean, please move on to the outro. Fuck. Finally. Hey, it's been a while, huh? You know, at least I made it, right? But on a real note, first things first, I just want to apologize. For taking so long. I announced me doing this like a year ago, and I delayed this like I don't even know how long. How many times. I want to say 3 to 4. Embarrassing on my end. Golly. Next time I work on a video, I'm just gonna announce it when I'm near done, so I don't do that again. But I guess for a short explanation for why it took so long, life. It can really just be down to life, school, personal life. You know how the past year has been. At least I hope you do. No way I'm suffering through this alone, So yeah, it's been a very stressful last year for me, for a lot of people, and all that together to just led to me not having a lot of time to work on the video, or just burnout and me struggling to make it at all, but I had you guys, I just really, the first part was the apology. Second part is I want to thank you guys. You guys really were my biggest motivators for just not giving up and scrapping the whole project, because just seeing all the support, all the love, all the suggestions, and genuine
interest in me and that feeling of being able to show my work to my family, to my friends, to you guys. That really was like my biggest motivator, like period. So again, yeah, thank you a lot just for like being there and existing, I guess. So yeah, that's cool. Oh, before I forget, let me drop some shout outs to all the people who helped me during this vid. Thank you, Moon, for giving me their voice during both the Gohan and Zero segments, intro segments. Thank you, Andrew, for also giving me their voice. Thank you, Storm and Maya, for giving me their singular lines. there's singular lines, you know, and also taking the nerd emoji. I think Tempest was also there once, you know. Let's think. Oh, thank you, Rel. Thank you, Winsrel, for animating the little me, the little teeny me. At the end, I was gonna pay the guy, just so y'all know, but he was like, no, man, I'm gonna do it myself for free. And I was like, okay, shit. Dumbass. That's the last time. That's the last chance you'll ever get any money out of me. Fucking idiot. Anyways. In terms of long form videos, I guess you used to tend to talk about what's next. In terms of long form videos, I probably have like one, maybe two videos planned. 2 long form videos planned for the rest of the year. It's not gonna be through CapCut though. I'm as soon as this video is up, I am getting rid of this app. If y'all didn't know, I've been working completely through my phone. I record through my phone, I do scripts through my phone, and I do my edits through my phone on CapCut. Not anymore though. I hate this app. I really do, and I don't want to work on it anymore. I'm gonna after this, I'm moving all my work into my laptop, hopefully on a way better editing service. I heard DaVinci is really good, so I'm gonna start out there, see how that works out. And yeah. That's about it, I think. Again, thank you all for being there, and I think it's about 6 o'clock by the time I record this ending segment. I'm gonna go. I still need to go get some groceries. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that. Y'all have a great day. Oh, what's up? Ooh, I should end this on like a catchphrase, because I have like an ending sting, right? Because I have a beginning sting. You know, the hi, hey, I'm Ultima, right? That's like the beginning sting, the beginning catchphrase. Maybe I should have like something for like the outro. Let me think. Oh, got it. I got it. This one's a banger. Watch. This is Ultima spiraling out. Oh, hell nah, man. Holy cornball.